I, Richard Milhouse Nixon, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
I preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Presidential debates have become a cornerstone of the electoral process in the United States, serving as pivotal moments that can shape the course of a campaign. These events provide candidates with a platform to present their policies, engage with their opponents, and connect with voters on a personal level. The significance of presidential debates transcends mere political theater. They are instrumental in informing the electorate, highlighting key issues, and reflecting the health of American democracy. Historical context. The tradition of presidential debates in the United States began in 1960 with the famous Kennedy-Nixon debates. This landmark event introduced television as a powerful medium for political communication.
The television and radio stations of the United States and their affiliated stations are proud to provide facilities for a discussion of issues in the current political campaign by the two major candidates for the presidency.
The visual component of the debates highlighted the candidates' charisma and demeanor, influencing public perception in ways that traditional campaigning had not. Kennedy's poised performance contrasted sharply with Nixon's anxious demeanor, illustrating how appearance can impact voter sentiment. Since then, debates have evolved, becoming a staple of presidential campaigns, with many voters now considering debate performances as a crucial factor in their decision-making process. Impact on voter behavior. The impact of presidential debates on voter behavior cannot be underestimated. Many studies have shown that debates can influence undecided voters and even sway those who initially support one candidate to reconsider their choice. Memorable moments, whether a poignant policy argument or a significant gaffe, can become defining moments in a campaign. Let's explore some of those defining moments, but before that, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to get instant notifications. Number 1, 1960. Nixon sweats while debating JFK. Famously, the very first televised presidential debate offered early evidence that all future debates would be visual affairs. After 8 years as vice president, Richard Nixon was running to inherit the White House from the enormously popular Dwight Eisenhower. His challenger was John F. Kennedy, the charismatic young Massachusetts senator whose eloquence and matinee idol looks captivated much of the nation. On September 26th, at the candidates' first debate, Nixon proved to be in strong command of policy, but he looked terrible. Famously, prior to the debate, he declined to have any makeup applied to his face. But that decision was made worse by the fact that for much of the previous 2 weeks, Nixon had been away from the campaign trail nursing a knee infection. As a result, he looked peaked. During their televised rumble, Nixon could be seen sweating and on camera wiping his brow with a handkerchief. His pale color and 5 o'clock shadow didn't help, all of which undercut his performance against Kennedy, who was a vision of youthful vigor. Number 2, 1976. Ford and Carter freeze in a moment of crisis. A more dramatic moment occurred on September 23, 1976, when the sound system malfunctioned in Philadelphia's Walnut Street Theater, forcing a 27-minute delay during the debate, during which President Gerald Ford and then Governor Jimmy Carter awkwardly stood still on stage. The broadcast continued as the television crew worked furiously to fix the technical problems. Neither candidate wanted to move, fearing that it would somehow look bad to the audience. In the end, both men were diminished. They seemed less like leaders than deer caught in headlights. Number 3, 1984. Mondale lets Reagan's one-liner negate a serious weakness. During 1984's first debate, Reagan, then 73, aroused concern when he seemed to have trouble remembering his answers or following the questions. He stumbled over his words and lacked clarity with each statement. His opponent, former Vice President Walter Mondale, was crisp and sharp. Fortunately for Reagan, he came back with a vengeance. In a later debate, when Baltimore Sun journalist Henry Truitt asked Reagan if his age would prevent him from fulfilling the rigors of the presidency, Reagan had a quip for the ages. "I will not make age an issue in this campaign. I will not exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth and inexperience." The audience erupted in laughter, including Mondale, which completely undercut the seriousness of the underlying charge. 4. 1992. Bush checks his watch while an audience member asks a question. During the 1992 campaign, few moments were more devastating to George H.W. Bush than his decision to look at his wristwatch in the middle of a town hall debate with Bill Clinton and Ross Perot. Right before an audience member asked the candidates how the national debt personally affected the lives of the candidates and how they could relate to the economic challenges of average Americans, Bush was seen looking down to figure out how many minutes were left. "Only 10 more minutes of this crap," Bush would later say he was thinking at the time. Checking the time would have been unflattering in a normal debate setup, but coming as it did, during a debate in which ordinary Americans posed questions to the presidential candidates, it seemed like Bush was bored and uninterested in hearing what real people had to say. For a candidate already under attack for not being concerned about domestic policy, his glance seemed to confirm everything that was said about him. Number 5. 2024 Trump losing it. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris met for the first time on the presidential debate stage in Philadelphia on Tuesday night. They may have shaken hands, but they did not hit it off. In a fiery 90 minutes, Harris frequently rattled the former president with personal attacks that threw him off message and raised the temperature of this highly anticipated contest. Her pointed digs on the size of his rally crowds, his conduct during the Capitol riot, and on the officials who served in his administration, who have since become outspoken critics of his campaign, repeatedly left Trump on the back foot. The pattern for much of this debate was Harris goading her Republican rival into making extended defenses of his past conduct and comments. He gladly obliged, raising his voice at times and shaking his head. "Americans should go to a Trump rally," Harris said during an early question about immigration, because they were illuminating. "People start leaving the rallies early out of exhaustion and boredom," she said. That barb clearly rattled the former president, as he then spent most of his answer on a topic that should have been one of his main areas of strength, defending his rally sizes and belittling hers. Trump went from there to an extended riff on a debunked report that Haitian immigrants in the town of Springfield, Ohio, were abducting and eating their neighbors' pets. If debates are won and lost on which candidate best takes advantage of issues where they are strong and defends or deflects on areas of weakness, this debated tilted in favor of the vice president. So that's the wrap-up, folks. If you like this video, then hit the like button and share your thoughts in comments section below. See you in the next one.